What is going on, legends? It is your boy King Arn, and this is where you can find the finest tips on making you an improved Apex Legends player. In this video, I will be covering 5 tips how to get high damage at Apex Legends. And if you guys are new to the channel, consider subscribing. And to all my returning subscribers, thank you so much for watching. Much love to you guys. Otherwise, let's get right into it. Welcome, legends. Are you guys struggling on getting that 4K badge on Apex Legends? Well, don't worry, King Arn is here with 5 compelling tips to help you deal high damage on Apex Legends. And for the first tip I have is having a good class loadout. I feel this is very necessary to achieve those high damage games, as some weapons can give you the distance to tag enemies from further range and make it more comfortable for you to deal damage. What I recommend for one of your weapons is the G7 Scout with a 2 or 4x or a 3x scope on it, as this will be a lot easier to hit your enemies going into the mid game of Apex Legends. Having these sights equipped will allow you to keep a comfortable distance from your enemies when going for the high damage games like the 4K badge. Now, that's only one weapon for your class loadout, so something else to equip for your secondary slot should be something along the lines with the weapon you're comfortable using with the close range battles. Now, what I like to use is the R99, as it's perfect secondary with the G7 Scout. Yes, they are both light ammo weapons, but a side tip I have for you guys is whatever backpack you have, try to fill up the top row with full light ammo. This should set you up with some ammo during the far range exchanges you have in the mid game. But a solid fast firing or high damage weapon will do as well, like the Prowler or Peacekeeper will do fine too. Alright, legends, moving on to the next tip. And for the second tip I have is picking up an Evo Shield. Respawn has recently put the Evo Shield into the game from pubs to ranked. A nice thing about having the Evo Shield is it's very convenient when you're trying to unlock the 4K badge. The Evo Shield acts like a marker for you, and I say it acts like a marker because before you do build it up, there's 4 stages to completing the Evo Shield. You first have the white, which you have to deal 100, and then the blue, when you have to deal 300, and then the purple, which is 500. Essentially, it is about 900 damage when you have completed your Evo Shield. So keep in mind, when you have a full Evo Shield, you have essentially done around 1,000 plus damage already, depending on when you picked it up during the match. So if you are trying to unlock the 4K badge, I highly recommend picking up an Evo Shield, as it will come a lot easier for you to identify how much damage you have done in the game. Alright, moving on to the next tip. And for the third tip I have is keep that good distance and control your ground. I feel this is key to have when you're going for the high damage games, as you want to sit back on hillside and start shooting enemies and being comfortable doing it. But in order to do this, you need to maintain that high position and dominate it. I would like you to think about it like you're playing King of the Hill in a part of the map you're trying to deal damage on. In order to accomplish this, you will need to cover all angles around you, meaning making everyone as low as possible when they are approaching to take your position from you. Deal damage and crack shields, and you will see your enemies start to run away so that they can start healing. At this point, don't really bother chasing or shooting at them anymore, as this is exactly what you want. Start to look for his teammates and put damage on them as well. But be sneaky about it, don't take too much damage from them, as this can turn out bad for you. So a small tip I have is try not to have your shields cracked and keep healing with small cells to cap off after every good exchange. Alright, legends, moving on to the fourth tip. And for the fourth tip I have is position for the long range gunfights. This is another big key factor when trying to do damage, as you hold your ground in a safe manner where no one can push you because you're sitting at a far distance. Hence why I said pick up the 2-4x or a 3x so you can maintain that 200 meter plus. At your position, you will be able to heal up fully at these exchanges. But if your enemies do decide to push you out of the position when you are low health, try just to pop a battery. Like again, they are 150 meters or 200 meters away from you, so for them to push you, they will be right out in the open, and as long as you're cracking their shields, there's no possible way that they're going to send you up that hill. So by you cracking them shields, it will definitely relieve relieve some pressure off you so you can start to heal up again. But at this position, try to get the best exchanges and aim to deal at least 100 plus damage to your enemies before switching target. And what I like to do is have a little marker in my head. If you do not have the evil shield, have a marker in your head of how many 100 plus damage or shields cracked you have. If you can count at least 30 shields you cracked in the game, then you are on the road to success for that 4K badge. And going back to dealing 100 plus damage on the enemies, if this does happen and you are still sitting at good health status, proceed to deal more damage to the other enemies in your line of fire. But try to think about it as you're having a heal off with your enemies, but you want to get the better of the exchanges. Healing up with 1 or 2 cells while your enemy has to heal up with a battery or a phoenix kit. If you see yourself starting to get warmed up and you don't really have to heal up as much as the enemy does, this is when you are on the road to dealing a lot of damage. So keep in mind, if you're not landing a lot of shots in your game, then hop off of a public match and start shooting some bots in the firing range so you can get your shot ready to snap on and fry kids on pubs. Alright boys, moving on to the final tip. Alrighty legends, for the final tip I have is don't always thirst your kills. Now what I mean about that is when you are dealing damage from that far distance and you do get a couple knocks, it's a lot better for them to get the revive off so then that enemy can start healing up fully again and you can deal a lot more damage. But keep in mind, if you do have enemies very close range, then I would suggest to thirst the kill as fast as possible. But going into the long distance, if you can knock players, it'll be a lot perfect. This way you have one person reviving and you only have to deal damage to another person. As you see in my game, I did a couple times. I let a couple people revive their teammates and I kept knocking them over and over. But when I feel I don't have to knock that player again anymore, sometimes thirsting the kill is a lot better because it's 100 plus damage added for you. Alright legends, like I always do have in my videos, a quick bonus tip for you guys is try to play with somebody that's willing to get you that 4K badge. So coming into the end game, try to have your teammate as a little decoy so you can start dealing max damage at the end game, because essentially you can get more than 1,000 damage on those last couple teams of Apex Legends. Another tip is it's really okay for your third teammate to be down, as he won't be able to do as much damage as possible coming into that late game. We did have a random in here and towards the end of the game he did go down. Yeah, it's not a team player, we did lose the game, but if you're trying to go for a badge, it is what it is, fellas. You know, you gotta get that badge. So for him to be knocked is actually really perfect, so you can deal the most damage possible during that end game exchanges. Okay legends, thank you so much for watching my video, as I hope it did help you out. If you guys have any comments, leave them down in the comment sections below, and if you enjoyed the video and it did help you out, drop a like on it as well, and it will be much appreciated. And before ending, if you guys are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button as it will help me out. And it's been your boy King Aram, and I'm out, man. Peace. Catch you guys on the next one.